The Witcher 3 director Konrad Tomaszkiewicz literally just spelled out everything that's wrong with the gaming industry today. He talked about the corporatization, the blind chasing of trends, the monetization first mentality, and the bloated development teams, while also completely destroying the credibility of the mainstream gaming media outlets. And man, I've never felt more vindicated before. It feels great when the GOAT himself shares the same opinions as yours. Now, to understand everything better, let's zoom out a little and look at the current gaming landscape because the patterns are just fascinating. All the big companies are struggling, losing tons of money on live service slop, on all the Concords and Highguards, and now we can probably add Marathon to the list as well. Because solid game or not, this is not a good trajectory for a big $300 million live service game. For reference, this is a good trajectory, this is a good trajectory, this is not. What makes it even worse is that this graph reportedly represents around 70% of the player base for Marathon. Now, because of this, Sony has finally decided to pump the brakes on live service. Nah, I'm just kidding. They're still pumping hundreds of millions of dollars on more live service games like Horizon Hunter something and Fair Games, which is yet another extraction shooter, while shamelessly imposing the Concordian tax on their consoles. Then there's Epic, who've laid off around 8,000 employees because, well, Fortnite can't pay their bills anymore. But it's okay, everything's gonna be fine because now they too are making a Disney extraction hero shooter. I genuinely don't know what will make these companies understand that this doesn't work. I mean, Arc Raiders, the undisputed champion of the extraction shooter genre, even that game has lost 80% of its Steam player base. Now, while all the big AAA companies are racing to the bottom, the Eastern devs, the Indies, and the AA's, they've been crushing it as of late. Just recently, Windrose dropped in early access and it's doing really well. The player counts have been rising every single day, and at the time of me making this video, the game has an all-time peak of 222,000 players. According to reports, it has already sold more than 1 million copies, a sales number Ubisoft can only dream of as skulls and bones rot in the live service graveyard. What a fitting name for a dead game, by the way. Then there's Pragmata, another Eastern game, a brand new IP that has sold 1 million copies in 2 days. Now, I won't even get into all the controversy surrounding this game because it's just disgusting and stupid. I just want to quickly talk about the 2 big reasons why this game is blowing up. First, it has some original ideas of its own. And second, it taps directly into the player fantasy of being a hero. And let's be real, no one's a better superhero than a good parent. And since gaming is a male-dominant space, as they pointed out, being a good father is the player fantasy. Now, I haven't played this game yet, but the word of mouth is strong, and I definitely want to try it at some point. However, right now my hands are full, which brings us to the elephant in the room, Crimson Desert. It has sold 5 million copies within 27 days. 5 million people decided to buy this game for $70, which is actually insane for a game that didn't have the safety net of a legacy publisher or a massive pre-existing fanbase. And not just that, this single-player game has stayed relevant even a month after release, as it's still peaking at around 100,000 concurrent players on Steam consistently. I mean, just for reference, Resident Evil Requiem, another highly successful game, lost around 90% of its players in the same duration. This just shows how incredible the staying power for Crimson Desert actually is. I'm like 95 hours into this game and still having an absolute blast, still finding new side quests and new things to do in the open world. I mean, just yesterday I spent like 2 hours on trying out different abyss gears on my loadouts, and today I'll eradicate the entire Order of Antumbra because she said so. But anyways, the point is that this game is just that great. And of course, that's a huge problem for the gaming media outlets as they're still trying to attack Crimson Desert from any angle they can think of. I mean, just look at PC Gamer trying to imply that the game doesn't have an identity because of the constant patches and updates. Then there's GameSpot with an even more brain-dead headline. Crimson Desert's AI scandal should bother you more. No, it shouldn't, you moron. It's not even a scandal in the first place. It's just something that you people thought would rile up the players against the game, but of course that never happened. Not to mention, Pearl Abyss has already replaced most of the AI art in the game, or probably all of it, I'm not sure, because I couldn't care less about some random paintings in a house. I mean, just imagine, while all the other players are out there flying dragons, there's a game journalist staring at a painting counting horse legs. The point is, the Western games media simply cannot handle this game's success, and while they act all salty, we have the game director of one of the greatest open-world RPGs of all time come out and praise the game. In an interview with the Game Business, this is what Konrad Tomaszkiewicz had to say. When you look at Clair Obscur or Crimson Desert right now, those games are different. They're not a copy of other AAA games, but delivering something quite fresh. And I'm really glad of it because I'm starting to feel like I did in the 90s when I played games on my 286 or even on the Atari, where every game was different. Every game was some unknown, and we want to deliver a similar experience for people. Man, I kind of feel bad for all the people who have been working so hard to bring this game down, giving it a 6, trying to make you believe that it's a cynical amalgamation of borrowed mechanics, that it's nothing original, that it's wide as the ocean but deep as a puddle, and within just a month, they have to report on the game selling 3 million copies, then 4 million copies, then 5 million copies, and then the Witcher 3 director praising the game and single-handedly destroying all of their arguments. And not only that, he also emphasized that they themselves want to deliver a similar experience with their new game, The Blood of Dawnwalker, which is my next most anticipated game this year, and my broke ass is actually saving up to buy it day one. So if you're new here and enjoying the content, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel to help keep the lights on. I would really appreciate the support. Thank you. Now, after reading some of these articles, I looked up the interview myself, and it's quite interesting. During the interview, Christopher Ring asked Konrad, why did you step away from CDPR? To which his answer was simple: CDPR got too big. He said that there's a big difference between working with 100 people and 500 people. Rebel Wolves has around 160 people working there, including the administration and the publishing department. So they have a total of around 140 developers working on the game itself. According to him, when the team is of this size, you can work with everyone and speak with everyone. You basically know everyone. But when it's a big team of like 500 people, only the middle management can end up consisting of 100 people. In the case of Cyberpunk, he mentioned that there were 125 people in management alone, which kind of explains that disastrous launch, but anyhow. He also called out the monetization first mentality of most of the gaming companies out there. The problem in this industry sometimes is that people opening companies are thinking too much about how to make money. This is a really cold approach for games. You cannot create art like this, and I agree. Just recently, an ex-Sony executive, Shuhei Yoshida, the guy behind all the big and beloved games like God of War 2018, Uncharted 4, Horizon Zero Dawn, Ghost of Tsushima, games that basically defined the whole era of the PS4, spoke out on why exactly he was fired. Jim Ryan wanted to remove me from first party because I didn't listen to him. He asked to do some ridiculous things, and I said no. What an absolute Chad, if you ask me. Now, unfortunately, he didn't specify what those ridiculous things were, but I think it's safe to assume that these are the ridiculous things he didn't want to do. And with him out of the way, Sony has been doing exactly that, pumping out safe, generic garbage. And that's not just a Sony problem. Almost all the big companies don't want to take risks, they just want to rinse and repeat the same things that worked before. I mean, dude, Ubisoft is banking on the remake of a 12-year-old game just to survive this year. Now, Rebel Wolves is taking a different approach. The whole idea behind that studio is that they want to take risks. They want to do things differently instead of doing the same things that they did in the past, because according to Konrad himself, that defeats the entire purpose of opening a new studio in the first place. We want to push the boundaries of the AAA RPGs by adding some quite risky stuff which gives you more immersion, more emotion, and a different feel when you play the game. Throughout the interview, Konrad also kept coming back to the importance of the team itself, and I think many other studios need to take notes. They have this team-first rule, where every single decision is viewed through the lens of how it impacts the people making the game. So in theory, he wants to build a studio where developers wouldn't want to leave, turning Rebel Wolves into a studio where people can grow old working together, struggling, fighting and solving problems side by side. Which also shows that he doesn't want yes men or toxic positivity at the studio. So I think Rebel Wolves can be best described as anti-Ubisoft, or better yet, anti-Naughty Dog. A couple of days ago, another ex-Naughty Dog employee spoke out on how Neil Druckmann became the victim of George Lucas' effect at the time of The Last of Us Part 2. Because while he did receive pushback on a lot of his ideas during the development of the first one, at the time of Part 2, a lot of people had left the studio and really no one was left to question some of his ideas, and we all know how that turned out. And since even more people left the studio after the game shipped, I guess now it's even worse, and he's probably crunching the poor souls working on Intergalactic to meet his personal creative vision. The thing is, just like you would need to lift big weights to build muscle and get in better shape, friction is necessary to produce greatness when it comes to creative work as well. And I'm speaking from experience. A few years back, I started writing a story. I wrote the prologue and chapter 1 and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best pieces of fiction ever. Until I showed it to a friend because she didn't hold back and told me that it's straight up garbage and also the dialogue sucks absolute ass. She also gave me some advice that I need to think like the character I was writing, and that one piece of advice improved my writing from a 2 out of 10 to a solid 4. And even now, when I'm making thumbnails, I sometimes brainstorm with a friend of mine, and most of the time I end up merging both our ideas to get the best version. Konrad gets it, and that's the healthy creative friction that he's trying to build at Rebel Wolves. Now, I honestly have no idea how the Blood of Dawnwalker will turn out to be, but the philosophy behind that game is exactly what this industry is missing right now. Just like Crimson Desert is an open world RPG that encourages exploration, there are no microtransactions, and this one actually goes a step further because from what I've heard, there won't even be any pre-order bonuses and everyone will play the same game at launch. Sure, the world might not have the sheer, overwhelming volume of content like Crimson Desert. I mean, let's be real, that game is just crazy. But the foundation here feels just as solid. On top of that, just like Pearl Abyss, they're also actively listening to feedback, and in the last gameplay footage they dropped, the game looked and played significantly better than the first one. And I can't wait to see what more they have in store for us. The thing is that this is a team of insanely talented devs with the right mindset. They understand what to do, and most importantly, they know what not to do. Sure, the Blood of Dawnwalker will not be a perfect game, and just like any other game, it'll have its flaws, but so far it looks to be in good hands. But I'll leave you at that. Do share your thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with Konrad Tomaszkiewicz's approach to game development, or do you believe it's just a load of bullcrap? Don't forget to drop a like and subscribe if you found this video valuable. Also use the high feature so my video gets more exposure and my small channel blows up. I would really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.